Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sal coming at you again with another video. Now, if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. I got plenty more videos coming for you every day. And everything in this video is going to be in my book, From Pre-Med to Med Student. It's available on Amazon.com. It's a comprehensive guide for applying and getting into a United States medical school. So please check it out. Now, let's get on with the video. So today's question is, should I take a gap year? And this is kind of for your undergrad, pre-med student, but also applicable for PA students and nursing students alike. Now, what is a gap year? You may not know what that is, but a lot of students don't even know what a gap year is. So let's say you finish your undergrad and most students finish their 4 years and they're applying to med school and they get in or they don't get in and then they continue on. A gap year is basically 1 year that you decide to basically focus on doing things that are outside of your standard curriculum, so to say. So people use gap years for different things. Some people use gap years to just go traveling abroad. Other people use gap years to bolster their medical school application, take upper level courses, do volunteer, do research, etc. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on in this video. Now, I have 5 tips to offer when it comes to gap years. And do I think you should take a gap year? My answer is yes, I do think you should take a gap year. Now, here are the reasons why. Number 1, you could really improve on your research. Now, you could do this either as a summer opportunity or a part-time opportunity. A lot of research opportunities are during the summer. And if you take a gap year, you could really bolster your med school application by showing that you have extensive research in a certain area. And this is really going to improve how your application looks like to the committee. Research is integral to a lot of things that we do in medical school. So it's very important that you have some sort of research experience in your application. And definitely a gap year is going to help you achieve that. Now, reason number 2 for why you should take a gap year is that it's going to afford you time to do things that you haven't been able to do during your undergrad. This includes things like volunteering, doing research like I mentioned earlier, or simply bolstering your application by doing things that are clinical, like getting an EMT or becoming a phlebotomist. These things are time consuming and you may not have time for it during your undergrad, so a gap year definitely affords you the time to do that, and that will only bolster your application. So tip number 3 is that if you have a slightly lower GPA or your GPA is not where you want it to be depending on the competitiveness of the school that you're applying to, you could definitely bolster your GPA by taking upper level courses or doing a post-bac or doing something that's going to show the committee that, hey, I have taken extra steps outside of just simply undergrad and my GPA is higher, or I've taken these extra advanced courses that show that I have a better understanding of these basic sciences than the average student. That definitely bolsters your application and looks better to the committee's eyes. And I talk about this in my book, From Pre-Med to Med Student. I'm a big proponent of post-bacs and SMPs, especially for students that have applied once and haven't gotten into med school. So definitely it's something that a gap year will afford you. Tip number 4 for why you should take a gap year. Now, you can study for the MCAT at your own leisure. This is great. If you're taking a gap year, you can actually take the time to study for the MCAT at your own pace. You don't have to be rushed and you don't have to go into an exam knowing that you're not fully prepared. A lot of students do this. They take the MCAT and they don't get the score that they want, then they apply to med school and then they don't even get an interview and they're a reapplicant and they're just kind of in this limbo and they're doing this thing incorrectly. I tell students all the time, you want to take your time and perfect your application. Take your time, take a gap year, study for the MCAT extensively, take it, knock it out of the park, get a good GPA, bolster your extracurriculars, etc., and then you're going to get that interview that you want for medical school. But make sure that you're studying for the MCAT correctly, and you could do this with a gap year because a gap year gives you the time and opportunity to study for the MCAT. So tip number 5 for why you should take a gap year is that you could perfect other areas of your application that you probably are not even considering. One of the things that I talk about a lot in my book, From Pre-Med to Med Student, available on Amazon.com, is that you can focus on your interview skills. Interview skills are critical. There's so many students that have a great application on paper, great GPA, great MCAT, great extracurriculars, but when they start talking for an interview, they are timid and they just can't express that confidence and enthusiasm for medical school. You could definitely focus on your interview skills during a gap year. You could focus on perfecting your personal statement. You can get letters of recommendation from your research mentor that you're working with over the summer, and you can get a much stronger overall holistic application if you simply focus on these other areas that you may not have time for if you haven't taken a gap year. So there you have it. Those are my tips for why you should take a gap year. I talk about all of this extensively in my book, From Pre-Med to Med Student. It's available on Amazon.com. Please check it out. It's a comprehensive guide for applying to medical school. And again, if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. I have more videos coming every day, and I will see you in the next video.